So now we have learned how to round off to the nearest 10 or the nearest 100, so we can use that to estimate answers. So let's see how we can apply these to estimate. So let's say I want to estimate. So now we're going to learn how to estimate. It's one of the most important things which we do, because a lot of times you need to estimate before you can calculate. So estimation is a very important part of what we do in mathematics. So let's try. So let's try to do the first problem. Let's look at a problem like 742 plus 210. Okay, and let's say I'm going to use approximation to the nearest 100 to get a sense of what the answer will be. Well, please note that 742 approximated to the nearest 100 is approximately, so I don't know what it is, but I'm going to approximate. So I'm going to approximate, and I am going to approximate to nearest 100. So this will turn out to be 742 turns out to be, this is equal to 700, and 210 approximated to the nearest 100 is 200. So 700 plus 200 we know is 900. So 900 is our estimate of this question. 742 plus 210 is approximated to be 900. Let's try another problem. Let's look at a problem like maybe 456 minus 274, and we want to approximate to the nearest 100 and get a sense of answers. So now again I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to approximate to nearest 100. So now 456, when I approximate 456, I get an answer which is 500, because please remember, if you look at the number line, this is 400, and this is 500, and this is 450, and 456 lies to the right of 450, which means it's closer to 500. That's why it's approximated to 500. And the same applies to 274. This gets approximated to 300. So it's just 500 minus 300, which is approximated to be 200. So what we can say is that 456 minus 274 is approximated to be equal to 200. And now we can even do some harder problems, like maybe we want to estimate. There's another estimation, and we want to estimate maybe 1205, which is 1205, minus 489 plus 208, and we want to approximate this answer. Now please note, I'm again going to approximate to the nearest 100, and you can see that we are mostly approximating to the nearest 100, and you can ask why. And this requires some experience of how do you want to, whether you should be approximated to the nearest 10 or nearest 100, but right now we're just using approximating to the nearest 100. So if I want to approximate 1205 to the nearest 100, you'll see that approximation is going to be 1200. So this is going to be 1200. And then 489 approximated to the nearest 100 is going to be 500. And 208 approximated to the nearest 100 is 200. So 1200 minus 500 is 700. 700 plus 200 is 900. So our approximation of this number is actually equal to 900. Okay, so most of the problems that we have done have been approximations to the nearest 100. We could also have approximated to the nearest 10. I will just show you why it's not probably one of the best ideas to approximate to the nearest 10. Let's say I want to do the same problem and I want to approximate to the nearest 10. Let's say I want to do this problem, but I want to approximate to the nearest 10. So I'm going to approximate to nearest 10. Okay, so now when I approximate 1205 to the nearest 10, I'm going to get an answer which is 121. You can check because I'm either going to have 120 tens, or these are 120 tens or 121 tens. Because I'm smack in the middle, that's why I go to 121 tens. 489 will turn out to be equal to 49 tens, and 208 will turn out to be equal to 21 tens. Now you can see, it's 121 tens, so I forgot to put in the 0. Okay, so now you can see that this calculation is kind of painful to do, right? Because you can see I have to do 1210 minus 490 plus 210 in my head. And this right now seems hard. This is hard. It's not very easy to compute in my head. But this calculation was very easy. It was just 12 minus 5 plus 2, which was 9. But when you're counting in terms of tens, the numbers can get to be very large, which is 121 tens minus 49 tens plus 21 tens. And some people can do this in their heads. For most people, it's a hard calculation to do in their heads. And that's why we, in general, approximate to the nearest 100 when we are computing with these numbers, although there can be occasions where approximating to the nearest 10 may work out to be better.